The waterfront taverns were alive with whispers. Tales of a fortune secreted away in the musty confines of a dilapidated house on Water Street. Angelo Ricci, Joe Chanek, and Manuel Silva, hardened by the streets and hungry for easy riches, listened intently. The whispers spoke of the terrible old man. The old man, a recluse shrouded in mystery, was said to possess unimaginable wealth. Jewels, gold, and artifacts from lands unknown, all hidden within his decrepit dwelling. The thieves saw opportunity in the whispers, a chance to escape their lives of petty crime and disappear into a life of luxury. The lure of untold riches outweighed the fear that clung to the old man's name. Driven by greed and emboldened by drink, the trio decided to take a chance. They would relieve the terrible old man of his burden, his wealth becoming their key to a new life. Little did they know, the whispers held a darker truth, a truth that would soon swallow them whole. The old man, they convinced themselves, was frail and helpless, an easy target. What they failed to grasp was the ancient evil that protected him, an evil as old as the sea itself. The house stood alone, a skeletal silhouette against the dying light. It was a testament to decay, its paint peeling, windows boarded, and a yard choked with weeds. The terrible old man, they called him. He was a fixture in the town's macabre folklore, a being as ancient and decrepit as his dwelling. No one knew his real name nor where he came from. Some whispered he was a retired sea captain, others a merchant who had made his fortune in unspeakable trades. He lived a solitary life, venturing out only after dark, his frail form hunched over a gnarled cane. His eyes, though, those were what people remembered. Deep-set and piercing, they seemed to hold the secrets of the sea, cold and ancient. The old man rarely spoke, but when he did, his voice was a raspy whisper, like the rustling of dead leaves. He was said to possess strange relics, trinkets from far-off lands, and whispered to speak to things unseen. The most unsettling feature of the old man's home was the collection of bottles that lined his shelves, hundreds of them, each filled with a strange, iridescent fluid. Locals whispered that the bottles contained captured souls, lost sailors snatched from shipwrecks, their life force trapped within the shimmering liquid. The terrible old man, they claimed, communed with these souls, drawing power from their torment. It was said that he controlled the tides with their essence, that he could summon storms with a mere whisper. The bottles, they said, were his most prized possessions, the source of his power and the key to his immortality. The thieves, however, dismissed these tales as superstitious nonsense. They were after more tangible treasures, gold, jewels, anything they could fence for a hefty sum. The bottles, they thought, might fetch a price from a collector of the bizarre, but their true value, they believed, lay in what they guarded. Under the cloak of a moonless night, the three men met in a secluded alley. Their plan was simple, brutal in its efficiency. Angelo, the strongest of the three, would subdue the old man. Joe would stand guard, his hand hovering near the pistol tucked into his waistband. Manuel, nimble and quick, would then ransack the house, searching for the hidden riches. They convinced themselves it would be easy. The old man was frail, a ghost haunting his own home. They would be in and out before sunrise, their pockets heavy with their newfound wealth. But as they finalized their plan, a cold wind swept through the alley, carrying with it the distant, mournful cry of a ship's horn. A chill ran down Angelo's spine. He shook it off, attributing it to the night's chill. They were men of action, not superstition. They would not be deterred by an old man and a few spooky tales. Tonight, fortune favored the bold. A thick fog rolled in from the sea, blanketing Water Street in an eerie silence. The only sound was the gentle lapping of waves against the pilings. The thieves, their faces hidden by shadows, crept towards the old man's house. The air grew heavy, thick with a strange salty tang. as if the ocean itself was watching their every move. The old man's front door, rotten and weak, offered little resistance. It creaked open with a groan like a death rattle. Inside, the house was shrouded in darkness, the air thick with the scent of mildew and decay. A single flickering candle cast long dancing shadows on the walls. Angelo led the way, his hand gripping a lead pipe tightly. They moved deeper into the house, their footsteps muffled by the thick carpets of dust. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the pounding of their own hearts. The old man sat alone in his study, his back to the intruders. He was hunched over a table, his frail hand caressing the surface of one of his strange bottles. He seemed oblivious to their presence, lost in a world only he could see. Angelo, his courage fueled by greed and cheap whiskey, lunged. He brought the lead pipe down with a sickening thud, but the blow never landed. The old man, with an agility that defied his age, twisted away, a chilling smile spreading across his wrinkled face.
The bottles, they're moving.
A scream, high-pitched and filled with terror, ripped through the silence. It was Joe, his voice raw with panic. He stumbled back, his eyes wide with horror, pointing a trembling finger towards the hallway. The screams died down, replaced by an oppressive silence that was more unsettling. Angelo and Manuel exchanged uneasy glances. The old man had vanished, as if he were never there. The bottle he had been holding lay shattered on the floor, its iridescent contents seeping into the cracks in the floorboards. A low hum began to vibrate through the house, emanating from the room where the bottles were stored. It grew in intensity, morphing into a deep, guttural growl that seemed to shake the very foundations of the house. Fear, primal and consuming, gripped the two remaining thieves. They had stumbled into something ancient and evil, something far beyond their understanding. Wealth and riches were forgotten. All that mattered now was escape. They had to get out, to flee the suffocating terror that permeated the very air they breathed. They ran, scrambling back through the house, desperate to escape the growing horror. As they fled, the bottles lining the shelves began to glow with an eerie internal light. The hum intensified, becoming a deafening roar, and the air grew heavy, thick with the smell of brine and seaweed. The house, no longer a structure of wood and brick, felt like the belly of a monstrous sea creature, alive and pulsing around them. The floor swayed beneath their feet, the walls seemed to breathe, and the shadows danced with a malevolent energy. They burst out of the house and into the fog-choked night, the screams of the sea ringing in their ears. Behind them, the old man's house stood silhouetted against the swirling mist, its windows glowing with an unnatural light. Then, as quickly as it had begun, the light faded, and the house returned to its former state of ominous silence. The next morning the fog lifted, revealing a scene of eerie tranquility. The old man's house stood untouched, as if nothing had happened. The townsfolk, their curiosity piqued by the sounds of commotion during the night, gathered in hushed whispers outside the house, but none dared to approach. The terrible old man was gone. No trace of him or of the three thieves was ever found. Some whispered that the old man had fled, taking his secrets with him. Others claimed that the sea, his constant companion, had finally claimed him for its own.
The bottles too had vanished, leaving behind only empty shelves and a lingering sense of unease. The whispers of the captured souls, however, continued to echo in the minds of the townsfolk, a chilling reminder of the ancient evil that lurked beneath the surface of their peaceful town.
The terrible old man became a local legend, his story told and retold with a mixture of fear and fascination. Some dismissed it as a cautionary tale, a warning against greed and the pursuit of forbidden knowledge. Others saw it as a testament to the power of the unknown, a reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed. The truth of that night, however, remained shrouded in mystery. What happened to the three thieves? What secrets did the old man possess, and what was the true nature of the iridescent fluid that pulsed within those strange, unsettling bottles? The answers, like the terrible old man himself, seemed lost to the sea, leaving behind only unanswered questions and a legacy of chilling whispers on the wind.